Hi, everyone. Erica Robinson back again from In the Company of Cards. Um, Thank you to all of my new subscribers. Every time I look there, there's more. And I'm thrilled. Happy that you like what I do. I do read all the comments. Um, can't necessarily respond to them all, but I do read them, so please do keep them coming. If you don't know, I am a Lenormand reader. It's a 36 card divination system, and I look at issues of the day. If you want to learn how to read like I read, I wrote the book, The Language of Lenormand, available everywhere, as well as the deck, Erica's Lenormand of Hope. And in the About section of the video, you can find links to all of that. Um, I have a course that you can take on Lenormand as well. Um, and I write a Substack blog. I just finished writing the blog just a few minutes ago. So you can go there if you'd like to read what I write. So this will be a short video today. Our last video was really long, didn't really expect it to be as long as it ended up being, but this one will be shorter. And so I think there's maybe like three or four things that I'd like to look at. The first one. So, I mean, not that this is necessarily news to anybody, but I guess the proof is out that 45 has been in conversation with Vladimir Putin, president of, or whatever he is, of Russia, and 7 times since he left office. Um, we learned this from Bob Woodward's forthcoming book. We learned too that he gave Putin COVID tests during the pandemic when nobody could get them here. So, and okay, the COVID test, that's bad enough. But I'm really curious about these conversations that he's had since he left office. And I just want to cut to the chase and see, I mean, I'm no lawyer, but in my opinion, is that behavior not treasonous? I would like to know whether if in months to come, years to come, I'd love to say days to come, but that's asking too much. But if at some point in the future, in addition to all of the many charges that 45 has faced and faces, will treason be added to the list? So I think we'll just do a yes, no. Okay. Will treason be added to the list because of 45's at least 7 conversations since he left office with Vladimir Putin? So I'm gonna just do a yes, no. So you know how I do that. I pull 3 cards that act as houses, and then I pull 3 cards that are in the houses. This should give us yes, no with a little detail. If you want more information about how to read this spread, it's in my book, it's in my course, so go there for that. Okay, so we have the fish in the house of the young man, we have the young woman in the house of the letter, and we have the heart in the house of the coffin, and the fish mirror the coffin. Hmm. You know, I mean, this sounds kind of bad, but I don't know that 45 entertainment purposes only YouTube will be around long enough for charges like that to be lodged. That's what I think. Um, I've talked about cardiac event. We've got the heart in the house of the coffin there. We've got fish in the house of the coffin, and fish is a lot of time has to do with blood flow, for example, because fish flow in water, blood flow. I think he may not be with us for those charges to be lodged. Didn't expect that. Okay. Um, I mean, I definitely think there's grounds for it. 'Cause, I mean, who does that? Like, I, okay. Anyway, another thing I'd like to look at 40 with 45 is, he put up a GoFundMe page for hurricane victims. And remember that his residence, whatever, is in Florida. He's a Florida citizen and resident. And, could he claim the funds because, you know, he's a Florida resident and Florida is going to get hit by Milton? I just want to know. Okay, first question I want to know is what was 45's intention in setting up the GoFundMe? And I'm just going to let Spirit decide all the cards. What was his intention in setting up the GoFundMe page for the hurricane victims? Which, by the way, has garnered millions of dollars so far. Okay, so let's just see. Like I said, I'm just going to let Spirit decide what the focus card is, what the significator is, and that's this card right in the center here. Okay, what was his intention? Okay, so we have the moon, we have the tree, we have the book, we have clover, and we have birds. So, this is the one that's in the middle. So on the face of it, here's the moon's face, right? On the face of it, I think that he did it to burnish his reputation, so to speak. This is the card for reputation. Look, I'm a good guy. I'm collecting funds for the hurricane victims. Okay. Um, and I think he thought that it would plant a seed, again, making him look like a good guy. The thing is that we have the book in the middle. I don't love that. This means that there are actually other motivations besides that one that are hidden. Now, not so hidden because we know he's a grifter, but uh, the book is the card for things that are hidden, secrets, right? And then we have Clover and the birds. So, you know, I think that pretty quickly people started to ask questions about this. Here's people asking questions, and here's them doing it quickly. So I think that the next question to ask is, will he be able to do a grift with this hurricane GoFundMe? Now, will he be able to grift, or will the GoFundMe people say, no, that this is not, we're sending it to the hurricane victims. So I want to know how will, instead of a yes, no, I'm going to say, how will 45's grifting attempt um, with this GoFundMe for hurricane victims, how will that go? So I'm going to use the stars as a focus card. Stars because stars stand for internet. And this, GoFundMe is like an internet thing, right? So that the stars this time around will stand for 45's attempt at a grift with GoFundMe. And I want to see how that goes. So we're going to look for stars. If you've not liked, shared, subscribed, I would love it if you would do all of that. Please, I really appreciate it. I'm delighted with all of you here. And your kind words have meant so much to me. Um, and this has just been great. So anyway, this stands for the Internet Grift using GoFundMe. Okay. And then these two go here. Okay, so we have the ring, the tower, the star, the moon, and the ship. Hmm. Uh, I'm going to pull some clarifiers on this. And I'm pulling, I didn't really originally intend to pull this many, but it's kind of an interesting question. You know, if we can't get him on treason, can we get him on grift of okay, good. All right. All right. So if you recall, our original cards were the ring, the tower, the star, that stands for the internet grift, the GoFundMe grift, the moon again, and then the ship. Okay. So this feels very much like here we go again. Circle, right? It has no end, keeps happening over and over and over again. Any opportunity to rip people off, whether it's golden sneakers, whether it's coins with the bloody ear on them. I mean, it's always a grift. So this is, here we go again. But I do think that um, the powers that be, both governmental and at GoFundMe, are onto uh, this grift and the fact that it's a grift. Uh, Moon is reputation. I mean, the GoFundMe people don't want their reputation sullied, and people are going to need funds. Milton is going to be a beast of a storm. You don't need a reader, a card reader to tell you that. The meteorologists are telling us this. Um, the ship is the card that I wasn't sure of, and that's what started me pulling clarifiers because the ship is forward movement. So I do think that his intention was to move forward with this grift, but whether he can or not, let's see. So I pulled cards on everything. So here's our ring, and the cards that I pulled on that are the sun, the mice, and the woman. So here we go again, one more opportunity to rip people off and where people really are going to need these funds. So if it's millions that have been raised, it should go to them. Okay. Uh, we can see this thing for what it is. Remember, I say the sun is a great card, but it's also like a searchlight. So the grift has been sort of uncovered. Um, I think this has made him really nervous and also made him pull back, right? This is anxiety, worry, stress. I think he thought that people weren't going to be on to what was going on. So he's anxious here. And this is yin energy. This is like, whoa, let me not like put that money in my personal bank account right away because, let me hold off and look like I'm doing the right thing. Okay, then we have the tower. It's our second card. We have the house, the letter, and the whip. To me, this is government and also entities like GoFundMe itself, right? Institutions, kind of. Um, this is people and their homes. People are going to lose their homes. People have already lost their homes. And this is votes, and we have the whip here. I mean, it's just so far, whether he gets in trouble for this or whether it's created contentious conversation here. The whip arguments between Him probably, and the GoFundMe people for one thing, right? Him saying, I can do whatever I want with this money. And them saying, yeah, no, you can't because that's like fraudulent. Okay. So here is the grift, right? The attempt to extort money, basically, is what it is. But to get people to give money to the hurricane victims, uh, this is Donald Trump's efforts. And we have Clover, Scythe, and Ryder. So here's the grift. He thought he had a good thing going. Lucky. Oh, isn't that great? All these storms. Look, I can raise more money. But he gets cut off at the knees. Again, either by the GoFundMe people or the government or somebody. He gets cut off at the knees and gets the message that this was not a smart thing to do. And by the way, people are watching. Voters are watching. This is not cute, what he's trying to do. Okay. The fourth card in our original line was the moon, and that's reputation. We have child, we have crossroads, and we have 45. So what is that about? People are going to see him, this is reputation, in a new light. Those people who didn't realize that he's not the person they thought he was, they're going to see him in a new light. Like you're trying to rip off people that have lost everything in a hurricane. What? They're going to see him in a new light, and they're going to go a different way from him. I think this will gain Harris votes, or at the very least, people won't vote for him. Okay, then we have the ship, and remember, I said I didn't know, is he going to get away with it, or is this a different kind of ship? Like, what is the ship about? And we have dog, snake, and mountain. Good. This is lawyers, but this is also people like the GoFundMe people. This is a card for people who help, right? Aid workers, GoFundMe organizers, that kind of thing. So here's the ship. This is the GoFundMe organizers who say, wait a minute, Houston, we have a problem. Snake is a problem. And they call a halt to 45's continued grift, not on their watch. They will not allow this to happen on their watch. Whatever money's collected will go where it's meant to go, and that is not the pocket of 45. Okay, so let me put these all back. And well, uh, I wanted to look at Harris's uh, media blitz. As you know, she was on the podcast Call Her Daddy. I don't know why they call it that, but apparently it's one of the top podcasts in the country, and it was a very good interview, very clever, very substantive. She did the 60 Minutes interview. She's been on The View. 45 has been on nothing but, Fox. How and what there's a reader I really like. Hold on, what's her name? What's her thing? I've got to let me find her. Oh, Revealing Light. Yeah, Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. Um, she calls it the legacy media. The legacy media, which is to say mainstream media, is not happy with Harris. They're saying that what she's doing is, going to friendly places for softball interviews, and that, they're not, she's not letting them interview her and hold her feet to the fire. Well, I mean, they don't get to write the rules in this, this wide open internet society that we live in now. They don't get to write the rules of where she goes for her interviews. Matter of fact, why don't they ask the guy, 45, how come he's not doing anything, right? So I want to know, what will be the effect of this media blitz that Harris has been doing? What will be the effect of it? Now, I'm going to use birds because birds is buzz, right? Talk, publicity, media. And I'd like to know how that will affect her chances in the coming election. So we're going to look for the birds. Okay, there we go. It came up pretty quickly, right? Birds, then the two cards to the left, and the two cards to the right. Okay, so this is pretty clear. We have sun, we have ship, there's our birds, we have bouquet, and we have crossroads. So remember what I always say about sun. The sun is a wonderful card, and it's a wonderful card in this particular spread. But here it's about, people getting to know her, people that wouldn't otherwise have opportunities to feel like they know who she is and what she's about if it were not for these non-mainstream platforms that she's showing up on. And it is giving people an opportunity to make an educated choice. Crossroads is the card for choice. Ship, forward movement. So I think it will advance her. And because this is the second card, this is our third card in the center. That's the buzz, right? I can mirror it with the fourth card, and the fourth card is the bouquet. So this will only be good for her moving forward. She's been very savvy, very smart about which outlets she's chosen to speak on and which she gives a pass to, you know, with a smile. Just, yeah, no, thank you. Um, Now, 45, his strategy is to not do interviews, but to do these sort of pathetic rallies and to go on his Truth Social platform and to do those, email blasts that he does. So let's look at his strategy. So we're going to use the same card. We're going to use birds, and we're going to look now at Trump's media strategy. You know, who knows? Maybe we'll be surprised. Maybe it's the thing that will work for him. So let's see. Again, we're looking for birds, and this will be the efficacy of 45's media strategy. Okay, here's our birds. Okay. So we have 45, the older man. We have stork, birds, book, and lily. I mean, here's the thing. Interesting, right? This is 45. I think because he is deteriorating and decompensating, as I said that he would. I said October was going to be quite the month for him. Um, he just, he's just trying to keep himself together. Um, this is the card, believe it or not, it's also the card for an older man. So we want to take that into account. He is an older man, not quick on the draw in terms of verbal repartee. He could not keep up with an interviewer, right? So that's the old man part. But the other thing is peace. He would be rattled. He would not be able to achieve the qualities of this card, which is relative peace and ease, if he put himself in an interview chair. So that's one reason why he's chosen this particular strategy, which is to stay only with, um, Truth Social, Fox News. That's pretty much it. Now, the stork is a great card, positive change. So what's that all about? Well, I think that his camp's theory, it's not so much that it's his theory, but his camp's theory is that they would do better, and I can mirror it with the fourth card, to keep him relatively hidden from the public. Hidden from the public in the sense of not having him sit down for really any kind of interviews because he can't function. So it's better for them if people don't know that. Remember, this is information that's hidden, secrets. So I think his policy towards media, his media strategy is probably a good one for him because the more he opens his mouth, the farther down his, you know, throat he sticks his foot. Does that make sense? Yeah. Puts his foot in his mouth. That's what I'm trying to say. Um, Finally, and I'm hesitating to whether to do this or not, but why not? We haven't heard very much lately on the whole Diddy dust up. I want to know if it will influence the campaign in any kind of way, the election itself in any kind of way. So I just want to look to see whether uh, that case. By the way, there are going to be a lot of names thrown around of people that people have heard of and loved and liked the art of, the music of, or whatever. A lot of names are coming out. A lot of names are already out. Will this influence the election in any way? So I think what we'll do is we'll look for ballots, and we're looking at that card, the letter card, with an eye towards whether the Diddy situation will have any effect at all on the election. Okay. So we're looking for the letter because that will stand for votes. Will the Diddy situation, the Diddy expose that's, coming and in process, whether that will have any effect at all on the election? Okay, so we have star, key, letter, stork, and ship. Hmm. I might pull. Okay, a couple of clarifiers here. Okay, so we have the stars, the key. These are votes, stork, and ship. Stork and ship are not bad cards. But again, I pulled some clarifiers on them. So this is, the star is the future. The star is social media. Um, and it's followed by the key. And I love the key. I always say it's the fraternal twin of the sun. So I'm not sure how. We've got the letter in the middle, that's the vote. But the cards seem to be saying that the vote will be affected in some sort of positive way. Now, when I say positive, the universe knows I'm not talking about 45. I'm talking about the Harris campaign. So it doesn't seem as though it's a bad thing, but anyway, I pulled cards on the stork because it puzzled me, right? Positive change. And then we have the scythe, the book, and then the scales. Um, I think that it will help. Your positive change is positive change. I think that to whatever degree information comes out about who was involved and who did what will help people make the decision about voting in ways that we are not aware of yet. Um, but but that it will create some sort of balance, some sort of equilibrium. One of the things I think about when I think about equilibrium is the outsized um, attention we give to people who are in the public eye, famous people, actors, musicians, athletes. They really have a disproportionate um, influence, I would say, on people. And I feel like with what comes out in the Diddy situation, I think people will realize that a lot of their heroes have feet of clay. That's not a bad thing to realize. It's disappointing. It shows you something that you didn't know before, but maybe it will make people stop looking for heroes and heroines and start looking to themselves to be their own heroes and heroines. To not be so led around the nose by the latest thing or you know, people who have a lot of money and a lot of, you know, um, play in the media. I think that this will sort of cause us to rethink how we as a culture determine who has what value in society. And maybe there are people that we've given way too much value to. So I think that that's a good thing. Now we have this ship. Now ship is forward movement. That's great. But look what the cards are that follow it. We have the coffin, we have the mountain, and we have the ring. I actually think this is good. Um, because here's the ship of all these bad deeds going forward and these parties and this abuse and misuse of young people and of women and it gets stopped dead in its tracks so that it's unable to what? Continue. So I think it's actually what I said before is that people will start to say, hmm, if these heroes have clay feet, are there other heroes among us who have clay feet and we're just not choosing to see their clay feet? 45 looking at you. So I think it will mark the beginning of sort of our cultural reevaluation of what's important and what's not, what's acceptable and what's not, whom we should be listening to and whom we shouldn't, who deserves our loyalty and our trust and who doesn't. So to that extent, I think it'll be a good thing. Okay, that's it for today. Um, as you have questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments because I do read them. Um, if I think my cards cannot answer a question or I think that the question is not appropriate for the cards, I won't address it. But I'm happy to entertain the idea of reading on whatever you'd like me to read on. So thank you again for your support. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.